I've noticed that fathers are just happy when their kids stay out of trouble and they behave right, and that's it. They don't really get involved with doing anything else. I'm just wondering, man, what are some other habits that are really important to you? And I know that that she's really young, but what are you thinking of already on about teaching her, and how you already seizing the moments to work on those certain habits?
Um, well, actually, the other thing that I want to stress to fathers, before we get into that, it just popped in my mind. I want to say it before I forget it, but make sure that you're carving out time for yourself. Besides the morning routine and evening routine, make sure you're carving out time at least once a week for you to take care of yourself, to de-stress yourself, and um, my daughter notices that, and I make sure that she's like, hey, daddy needs this times, for himself, because we all need a little time alone. We all need a little bit of time to think on our own, and to do it without distractions. So it's kind of leading into answering your question, because I make it a point to point it out to her that, like, hey, daddy needs this time to do X, Y, and Z. And she's starting to understand that, hey, dad also needs to go to work. And I'm also, when I have the opportunity, I involve her in all my activities. Like, I've taken her to work, my 9 to 5 day job. I'm a port engineer for a U.S. government oceanographic research vessel. So there's been a number of times where I've brought her to work and showed her what daddy does, and why it's important that daddy goes to work every day. And she's sad when I go to work, but she understands that I'm doing something that that's bigger than myself. So I show her you know things on the ship. I'm showing her how things work, and I'm just showing her the things that interest me and why they're important to me. I'm explaining to her why things are the way they are, and that sometimes we can't, life isn't all about fun and games, and that we have to do things that we don't necessarily enjoy. I think that's important to start teaching kids at a very early age, is that there are, for us to have things, and for us to have the lifestyle that we want, and why things, why we are able to enjoy our current lifestyle, is because we have to put in work to, get a reward, and that nothing in life is without, there's always a price to pay for having things in your life. And whether it's, if you want to have a simple life, there are some, there's some things that you have to be able to do without, like doing without the fancy big screen TV, or, having a lot of video games, or watching a lot of TV, making her understand that, there's always going to be a price to pay. And that, if you want something, you have to understand what the price of that is. And then when it's time to pay that price, to do it gladly, instead of complaining when you have to, spend time on something, or spend money on something, or put effort into something. So I see so many kids, the biggest thing that I see with kids is this entitlement attitude, that they should just have things, that there should be a lot of things that come free. I saw a post, I don't know if someone shared it, but on Facebook the other day, that food should be free, that healthcare should be free. Whether you were living in caveman days or you're living in modern day society, there was a price to pay for that food. You had to go out and get it. So either way you look at it, there's some sort of price that you have to pay. And I'm trying to help my daughter understand that at a very early age. And I think I might be going around in a bit of a circle. I don't know if I actually answered your original question there, but I don't know. I just started going on a bit of a tangent there. I thought I'd go with it.
No, that's perfect, man. No, I should say it correctly. I love those, because that's when most value comes out. So that was absolutely perfect. We were talking about habits. You brought it out to, making sure that your daughter understands that, you have to know what you want in life, and you also have to know what you can do if you want that, and what you have to do if you want that, even if there are things that you don't want, even if these things that you have to leave behind, even though you would like them. So yeah, that's really important to teach that in an early age. Something that I have difficulty with, because then, as what you mentioned earlier as well, environment makes such a big impact. My mother-in-law, every single time we come to visit, she gives them a present, and it's starting to come to a stage where my kids, when they have to go, and we had to go 2 weekends ago because she broke her arm, and we had to go to the hospital, and he's like, "Oh, we have to go visit our grandma. Did she get our gifts?" I'm like, "Dude, I just told you she broke her arm." Really? So, and that's difficult then, because you don't have the control. And I told her once, but she's old. She's not remembering everything as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, those kind of things. So absolutely, those lessons to teach our kids are very important. So I'm really happy that you went on a tantrum. That's a tantrum. Excuse me, on a rant. That's always great. Hey man, I hope you got all the information out of this that you were looking for. If so, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you hit the bell, then every time we come out with a new video, you will be informed. For now, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you soon.